my name is Tempe Smallwood Weinrich, and I came here in 1928.
What's your earliest memory of being here?
It's wonderful because it was hilly. Nobody was here. Oranges, olives, the olive plant. My mother worked at the olive plant, one of the first women that worked in the olive plant. And everybody knew everybody. Nobody knows anybody today. And I remember Fair Oaks was just little boardwalks for the street. They had bread boxes out in front of the grocery stores, and that's where the young men came down and sat on the bread boxes and spent Saturday afternoons and told each other lies or whatever else they wanted to tell them. And it was wonderful. Wonderful little town.
Tell me about the role that the olive plant played in town. Was that a pretty big employer here?
Yes, it was. I think at one time it must have been the only employer here, and the dredges. Mm-hmm. My father was killed in the dredge in 1928, and they had the olives and orange groves. But and my uncle was the first one-armed sheriff in Fair Oaks.
Is that right?
Now, can you believe that? One arm, but that's all they needed those days to have good things in Fair Oaks, you know.
Sure. What was his name?
His name was William Smallwood. No, James Smallwood.
James Smallwood.
James Smallwood.
And what part of town did you grow up in?
And you know what? I grew up on. It's called Smallwood Lane now, but it's over there, just a little bit from the bluffs, and I live on that same hill. I haven't moved from that same hill, and it's about a block from the bluffs. On Smallwood and Central now.
What did your parents do here? You said your mother worked at the olive plant,
yes,
and your father worked at the dredge.
Yes, and he died. And then my mother was a widow woman, and hard times.
Oh, I'm sure.
But we were poor, but who knew it?
Right.
Who knew we were poor?
Everybody in the same boat?
Yeah, everybody in the same boat. And didn't seem to be too many Joneses to look up to. It was wonderful, but we were poor, and my mother had three other children, and you know I've got a whole family that's buried out there. My mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my uncle, my nephew. Oh, they're all out there.
Gee whiz, yeah. What was the social life here, the interaction between families like at that time when you were a youngster?
Like I say, everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
And like I say, it was all friendly. I've seen some old timers here today. Burl Massey, the Gallagher girl. Sarah Vincent, just a lot of, but you never see them hardly anymore. But we're here.
Sure.
There's a few of us all left here.
Sure. And where did you go to school?
I went to Fair Oaks Grammar School, and then I went to San Juan High School, and that's when I was in the first year of San Juan when they built on many years ago. The new part, they called it then. I went into San Juan, and then graduated from there.
Did you walk to school in elementary school?
Oh, yes. But I wasn't far from elementary school.
Right.
Wasn't far, so we walked. And it was fun.
What are your memories of that school, that big schoolhouse at that time?
And right where it's at now? Good. It was good memories. Knew the teachers, and like I say, it was a nice little colony then here. It was a lovely little it's a lovely town now, but it's getting to be all cement, you know? But it was a wonderful little town.
Were your parents the first of your family here?
Yes.
And where did they come from?
Orville. And my mother, Orville, California, and my mother bought a hill down. She bought it all for, I think, water taxes, which was very reasonable. It had to be reasonable. She was poor, you know, and now we have a little plot there on the hill.
Was the American River quite an attraction?
Yes, the rock crushers. We had an old depot down there one time, Espin Depot. The rock crushers. That little two-lane bridge. Yeah.
You've talked a little bit, a couple of times, about how it's changed. Tell me about that particularly. How has it changed since you recall?
Well, I can remember the closeness, and we knew so many people. We had that little drugstore right where that coin thing is now, and it was called Stark's, and they had a little fountain in there. A small city atmosphere, a small town. It's lovely now. Well, if there's anywhere I'd like to live, it's right where I live today. I've always said I'm glad my mother didn't get to Sacramento or Roseville, North Highlands, or El Paso. I'm glad she got here. I was fortunate. And I had my sister who lived here, and my brother. He was killed in the war, the Second War. Yeah, he was raised here, and my other sister.
Glad you stayed.
Oh, I'm so happy I stayed.